Hey everyone, welcome to Module 9. This module, we're going to be going over humanistic, existential, and positive aspects of psychology. I like this module because it really kind of is more self-reflective. I think a lot of times when we are looking at our everyday lives and maybe just like our past experiences, sometimes we kind of focus on more of the negative aspects of our day-to-day, and we don't concentrate on more of the positive things. There is a give and take on everything. And whenever we kind of look back, we always were like, gosh, remember that thing that was really annoying? We never like, hey, remember those great things that happened today? So I do think it is important to kind of reflect on that sometimes. I know I have a hard time doing that. So it is good to kind of be a little bit more retrospective in how you look at certain situations, because it can affect your overall attitude and quality of life. So let's click into Module 9 right here. And of course, you can go over your learning objectives and you can click into your read and review. The couple of videos that I have in here, the first one is talking about existentialism. It really is just kind of posing that idea of, what is the purpose of life? You're asking that question. So like, what is my purpose? Like, why am I here? Or why are we here? What are we doing, right? So that's kind of that existentialism idea and kind of how we can maybe answer those questions. All right, so go ahead and watch that video. The second one that I have here is the PERMA model. And this is really kind of going into Martin Seligman's idea of positive psychology. He's kind of the one that's been coining that term positive psychology. It talks about the PERMA model and what that means and how that relates to positive psychology. It is one of those like quote unquote hot topics in psychology right now. So go ahead and kind of watch that for an introduction of really what the PERMA model is and kind of how that's applied to psychology. All right. So after you do that, you can go ahead and click on your assignments. Of course, you're going to have your Chapter 9 quiz and then your discussion. So I'm going to click into your discussion right here. Make sure you post by Thursday and respond to someone by Sunday. And of course, you have to have your APA references. Just a quick reminder. So for your discussion question, we're going to talk about self-actualization. And I really like this idea of self-actualization because, again, it's one of those things that I don't think we think about on a daily basis. When we look at the humanistic perspective and maybe like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you probably remember that from the pyramid, your basic needs going all the way up to that tip of that pyramid, which is that self-actualization. That really is just the idea of your complete realization of your own potential and your fulfillment of really your abilities and your appreciation for life and how you can kind of get there, right? So you're probably thinking, well, maybe I'm already there, or maybe how do I get there? But when you kind of reach that very, very tip point of that pyramid, you kind of become like self-actualized. And not a lot of people get there. And I don't know if a lot of people even want to get there. I don't know if that's something that's on their top of their to-do list or top of their minds of getting there. But I think that when you kind of do get to that point, you understand a little bit more of what that means. So watch this video. It's going to kind of describe a little bit more of that idea of self-actualization, which is part of that humanistic theory. Okay. And then after you watch that, I want you guys to answer some of these questions. So number one, if you yourself wish to become more self-actualized, how could you go about achieving that? All right. Now, these are all questions you're going to have to critically think about because there's no right or wrong answer. That's just something that, be reflective and kind of put your opinion about how you think that you could become more self-actualized. So now from a Rogerian perspective, if you wanted to become yourself, quote unquote, how would you proceed? Okay, so think about that. Maybe you already feel like you are yourself, or maybe you think that you could become more of yourself. Again, it's kind of that idea of that self-actualization. So think of that and then go ahead and answer that. And then the last thing is, would this be the same path that would lead you toward Maslow's idea of self-actualization? Okay, so again, it's the same idea. It's a little bit different. So maybe to become yourself isn't to become self-actualized, but maybe it is. So you wanted to kind of describe that a little bit more. All right, so just make sure you get some sort of reference in there. But this is really kind of critically thinking and answering as you would in terms of yourself. All right, so that's going to be it for chapter 9. Just go ahead and do your discussion, do your quiz, and I will see you guys in module 10.